talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Everybody's sick of it now.
And you even have your skydiving tie on today, so that must mean something. Viewers, take note.
That's right. That's because back in February, I did my tandem jump back in February, and I loved it so much that I wanted to see if I could do it myself. So I went and took the lessons of how to free fall, and you're going to see part one of what exactly it was I went through to get to this point.
Ooh, pretty good.
It looks like a lot of fun, and it is, but it's not as easy as it looks. There's a lot of stuff to learn.
Yeah, there is, and a lot of people have said it. They've called up and said, well, why do I have to have all that training? Why can't I just go out and jump? All I have to do is pull the ripcord. That's exactly what they said. And you're right, there is a lot of things that you need to know. If something were to go out of the ordinary, you have to know how to handle it, and it's not something you can just go out and do without any instruction.
And instruction is what you'll get. After my first tandem jump in February, I decided that I wanted to learn to skydive on my own. So I signed up for the accelerated freefall class.
The AFF program, accelerated freefall, you go to 12 or 13,000 feet on all your dives. Your first 3 levels, your first 3 jumps, you actually leave the aircraft with 2 instructors physically holding on to you. On the first and second level, they're going to be holding on to you until you have pulled the ripcord. Level 4, 5, 6, and 7 is where you'll start learning to do some things like turns, back flips, front flips, tracking, which is moving horizontally, and things such as that.
First, we started with a lot of classroom learning. Rules and regulations. Gary showed us body positions with a dummy and how that will affect us in the air. How to correctly exit the plane and what it looks like from the air so we know where to land.
I think I was anxious to do this.
Yeah. Next, we practice our first jump in a parachute simulator.
And as you're practicing, don't get in a bad habit of
complete exploitation.
practicing something wrong. Help each other out and work with each other. If you're doing something wrong, let the other guy know, okay? Because you don't want to get in a bad habit of practicing something the wrong way, okay?
I'm just checking to see how this feels.
It's not going to be that uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I didn't wait too long.
No.
I just didn't have my...
No, you didn't have your hand on it. The hand should be on both of them ready to activate. Pull.
None of that.
Now it's time to get suited up and get ready for that first jump.
Student jumps are bigger anyway, right?
Right. It gives you a slow rate of descent, so in case you mess up your landing, you don't get hurt.
I already heard you. He was trying to stop you.
It's like a parachute jump.
Alright. You should have gone to church. It is late.
Nervous? You know what to do, right?
I know what to do.
Exactly. You know what to do in case something happens.
I hope so.
You should have gone to church.
Well, one of the things that they show you when you're training is they hold up, you're in the simulator thing that you're holding onto, and they hold up pictures of malfunctions of the chutes, because it is possible there could be a malfunction, and they teach you exactly what it is you should do in the event of what could happen if you have a line twist or your canopy doesn't open up, because you have 2 chutes that you jump with. But
So you got to look at all the pitfalls that could happen.
that's right, and tomorrow you'll get to see my very first jump. You'll get to see a couple of my landings and how the whole thing went, but it turned out pretty good.
Sounds interesting. All right, we'll be right back after this. Sorry for cutting you off there this morning, but we have a big story now to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Right, you've been mentioning all this week about your adventures in skydiving, so tell me, what's part 2 about?
Well, part 1, you saw some of the classes that I was going through, learning what to do in case something went wrong and how to, your positioning and all of this. Part 2 is the actual jump, and you'll see what I did right and what I did wrong, and of course, it went pretty good. But there were some things that didn't go so good, but we'll show you.
A lot of time trying to make the...
Following some pretty extensive training, it's off to the plane for my very first jump. Along with me are my 2 instructors for today, Donna Morgan and Elias, and several other divers with cameras in their helmets. It's their pictures you'll be seeing while I'm in the air. Needless to say, I'm a little more scared now than I was during my tandem jump back in February. Once on board and after climbing to 14,000 feet, it's out the door. The exit off the plane could have been a little bit better, but once my instructors got me stable, it was time to do my practice ripcord pulls and check my altitude several times before it was time to pull.
That was great. What?
Show your ripcord.
Yeah, Elio goes and they go,
Did I?
Because I think he threw his ripcord. Oh, man. I didn't even think about it. I did.
All in all, not bad for the first jump and solo landing. Other days were not so good. Now, occasionally, the weather didn't exactly cooperate. Student divers are not allowed to jump if surface winds exceed much over 15 miles per hour, or if there are a lot of clouds. On those days, you just call it quits or wait around for conditions to improve.
No, you're doing awesome, man. In fact, I'm a little bit jealous. You're a little bit ahead of me, but you're more of a natural at it, but I'll be there.
On the days I did jump, that classroom training came in very handy because things didn't always go right.
Even though one steering line was broken, you handled it perfect. You came in and landed exactly where you were supposed to, still did a nice soft landing. And see, if somebody had gone through the training like that and didn't know what to do, they might would have panicked when they realized that steering line was broken, but you did the perfect thing. You handled it great. I couldn't have handled it any better.
Other days, however, it seems like I did everything wrong, and this is exactly what you shouldn't do just before you pull your ripcord. I did manage, though, to have a pretty successful landing after that terrible jump. I didn't do everything right the first time, and if this landing looks a little rough to you, you're right. But after some practice, I passed all 7 levels, and I'm now off student status.
One thing you didn't say was that little nosedive thing that I did there. Don't ever do that if you ever go skydiving. I think I scared Donna to death, but it turned out okay. Now that last landing, though, I did manage to do. I just for some reason landed wrong. I twisted my ankle a little bit, and that's the reason why you've seen me limping around here just a little bit. But I want to thank Donna and Gary for all of the practice and all of the training, because I had a really great time. And the photographers made it even more fun. They were great, and they made a great sport even more fun to enjoy. So thank you.
That's something that you'll enjoy for years to come, I think. You're a pretty active person. Let me see your hands. Okay, the stickers. Let's look at that. Calluses on his back. All right, well, straight ahead, we'll have the story behind a vicious dog attack that sent a Corpus Christi man to the hospital.
Plus, I'll have your weekend forecast.
And we'll take a look at the first of the